Today, we're continuing the story of Joseph after his father Jacob left Canaan and settled in Egypt. This chapter of Joseph's life reveals the fulfillment of God's promises, the establishment of the Israelites in Egypt, and Joseph's lasting legacy. Jacob and his family settled in the land of Goshen, a fertile area in Egypt, thanks to Joseph's high position under Pharaoh. Joseph provided for his father, his brothers, and all their households, ensuring they were well fed during the severe famine that had struck the entire region. During this time, Joseph's power and influence continued to grow. The famine was so severe that the people of Egypt exhausted all their money buying grain from Joseph. When they had no more money left, they brought their livestock to trade for food. Once the livestock was depleted, the people offered their land and themselves as servants to Pharaoh in exchange for grain. Joseph agreed, acquiring all the land in Egypt for Pharaoh, except for the land of the Egyptian priests, which remained untouched. Joseph then established a policy where the people were required to give 1/5 of their produce to Pharaoh, a tax that lasted for generations. The remaining 4/5 were left for the people to live on, ensuring that Egypt remained prosperous even during difficult times. Meanwhile, Jacob's health began to decline, and sensing his time was near, he called for Joseph and his 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. Jacob declared that Ephraim and Manasseh would be counted among his sons, receiving an inheritance as if they were his own children. This act effectively gave Joseph a double portion among the tribes of Israel. During the blessing, Jacob crossed his hands, placing his right hand on the younger Ephraim and his left hand on Manasseh, the firstborn. Joseph tried to correct his father, but Jacob insisted, saying that Ephraim would become greater than Manasseh, a prophecy that later came true. Jacob then gathered all his sons to deliver his final blessings and prophecies. He foretold the future of each tribe, revealing their destinies and roles in the unfolding story of Israel. Judah was singled out as the tribe through whom the promised ruler, the Messiah, would come. After blessing his sons, Jacob gave specific instructions to be buried in the cave of Machpelah in Canaan, where Abraham, Isaac, and Rebekah were buried. Following Jacob's death, Joseph received permission from Pharaoh to escort his father's body back to Canaan. A grand procession of Egyptian officials, Joseph's family, and servants accompanied Jacob's body to Canaan. They mourned for 7 days, and the local Canaanites were astonished by the intensity of the mourning, naming the place Abel Mizraim, meaning mourning of the Egyptians. After the burial, Joseph and his brothers returned to Egypt. But now that their father was gone, Joseph's brothers feared that he would seek revenge for their past actions. They approached Joseph, asking for forgiveness, claiming that Jacob had instructed them to ask for mercy. When Joseph heard their plea, he wept and reassured them, saying, "Don't be afraid. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." He promised to continue providing for them and their children, comforting them with kindness and forgiveness. Joseph lived for 110 years, witnessing the growth of his family and the early development of the tribes of Israel. Before his death, he reminded his brothers that God would surely come to their aid and bring them out of Egypt, fulfilling the promise made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Joseph made the Israelites swear an oath to carry his bones back to Canaan when God delivered them from Egypt. His dying words were a testament of faith in God's promises, a prophetic declaration that would be fulfilled hundreds of years later during the Exodus, led by Moses. Joseph was then embalmed and placed in a coffin in Egypt, awaiting the day when his bones would finally rest in the Promised Land. The story of Joseph's later years shows how faith and forgiveness can transform family conflict into divine purpose. Despite his brother's betrayal, Joseph never harbored bitterness. Instead, he recognized that God's hand was at work, turning evil intentions into a greater plan for the salvation of many lives. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating Bible stories and life-changing lessons from the Word of God. Stay blessed.